Hello everyone, I welcome you all for the lecture series videos of Basics of Mechanical Engineering. So in the lecture series video we are discussing about the arc welding process. Under the arc welding process we have discussed about direct current electrode positive and direct current electrode negative, that means straight and reverse polarity welding process in the previous videos. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the advantages and limitations for the welding process. So as I told you earlier, the arc welding process is the common welding process, and most of the fabrication works we are using the arc welding process. And due to its advantages, it is used in majority of the fabrication purposes, and only very few limitations are there. That due to that limitations, that process cannot be used for typical applications. So let us have a detailed discussion on what are all the advantages and limitations of the arc welding process. So coming to the advantage, so this arc welding setup, so we have only a transformer, then electrode holder, then electrode and cables. So it is a very simple setup, and due to the less equipment used, it is very inexpensive, and the welding transformer what we are using for the arc welding application is very handy. So we can move to any location and we can transport to any locations. So it is very portable, and we can use this for any area in our factory or in our home. And the second advantage, so this shielded metal arc welding electrode, it provides, it is not only used for shielding applications, it also gives a filler metal to make a sound or quality welding process. So what we are using as an electrode for SMAW process, that electrode itself it is having a filler metal. So no need to use additional filler metal for the welding applications. So if you are using additional filler metal, we need to, it is not simple, it is quite difficult, and we need to use a feeding mechanism to supply the filler metal. Since it is provided with the inbuilt filler metal, so it is very easy to use. And auxiliary shielding gases or granular fluxes are not required for this application. So why we have to use shielding gases or granular flux? Because during welding process, uh, uh, the metal is melted to its molten state, and it is in contact with the atmospheric air. The atmospheric air which contains oxygen. If the metal is reacts with oxygen, it becomes metal oxide, which is inert in nature, which degrades the material property. To overcome that problem, we need to protect the molten metal, by using a shield. That shield is creating by supplying gases or fluxes. By burning fluxes, gases can be developed. So in this arc welding process, this electrode itself having a granular fix, no need to use additional shielding gases or granular fluxes to avoid to overcome the oxidation of the metal. So this process is also very less sensitive to the wind source, and most of the most of the cases we can get very accurate joint. So these are all the advantages of the welding process. And coming to the limitations, it is very few. So this process is discontinuous due to the limited length of the electrode. So the electrode what we are using in the welding process, it is only a limited length. So once the electrode is consumed, we have to replace the electrode. So we have to intermittently change the electrode. So this process is not continuous. And the welding joint which may contains slag inclusions. So that slag inclusions which degrades the material property also. And during arc welding process, fumes can be developed. If you inhale the fumes, it leads to various respiratory diseases. So we have to use proper shielding mechanisms and masks to overcome this problem. So these are all the references for my presentation. First reference, Manufacturing Technology, Foundry, Forming and Welding, authored by P.N. Rao in the year of 2013. And the second reference, a textbook of Production Technology, authored by P.C. Sharma, published by Chand and Company in the year of 2014. So in this video, we have detailedly discussed about the advantages and limitations of the arc welding process. Thank you for your attention.